Hello, everyone! I am your Lore Keeper, and welcome to the Lore Keeper Show. Today, we're actually doing a double feature in our course. Yes, this is going to be 2 lessons in one, because these are kind of shorter lessons, and so we can kind of combine lessons. Throughout this How to Homebrew series, we've gone through magic items, monsters, species, and spells. We have not done subclasses yet, and today we're diving into backgrounds and feats. So let's start with backgrounds and how to homebrew them on D&D Beyond, and then we'll move into feats. So, have you ever wanted to be an assassin? Well, in the actual backgrounds of D&D, there is no assassin. However, there are criminals, and so what I did was made a copy of a criminal, which you can do by going to the background section and then making a copy of an already existing background in D&D Beyond with the homebrew feature. Basically, you spent a lot of time getting money by taking dangerous jobs. Many, if not all of those jobs, including murdering someone in high status or just a person someone doesn't like. Instead of it being dexterity, constitution, and intelligence, it's dexterity and wisdom. You still have the alert feature and all of the sleight of hand stuff. The item stuff is a little bit different as we get down here. There's a lot of stuff with backgrounds, but you don't have to do all of this stuff. It's too much, honestly, to do sometimes. We'll get into it more when we actually create a background completely from scratch, but we'll get into more of that later. But same proficiencies for the skills, same tool proficiencies. This time around, though, we also are adding some new items. So the equipment, you basically add like an A or a B group. The A group here used to, for criminals, would be 2 daggers, thieves' tools, crowbar, and then some pouches and some traveler's clothes, but instead I replaced those with some poisons, the assassin's blood and the drow poison. And also in the B section, instead of just getting 50 gold pieces, you also get midnight tears. So you gotta weigh your options on which ones you want. I'm also going to put a new tool proficiency in here, which is going to be the poisoner's kit, and then we will show you everything once all of the changes are done, so that you guys can see the finished product of what the background looks like. So here we are in the saved background. This is what Assassin looks like when we're finally done with all of it. You now have proficiencies with Thieves' Tools and Poisoner's Kit. If you choose this, you have the choice between A or B. Now, the only issue here is that there are external links, even though the links just bring you to D&D Beyond, but a different tab. But that's still an issue, and for those reasons, I wouldn't be able to share this with the community as a whole, but I still am able to share this with my friends when we play. So with that in mind, now we are actually going to create a background completely from scratch, meaning that you guys get to watch me do more of the things and show you guys how more of it works. Of course, I always say this, I probably should say this more. If you guys have any questions about how to do these things, I am always happy to answer those questions in the comment section, and I will always be open to helping anyone who doesn't understand what I've already explained in the video. I understand that sometimes watching a video might not always be the best help. I know that for a lot of people it can be, but I know for some people it can't. So whatever works for you, I am willing to help. To make sure that you ace this course, because now we are a course on YouTube. So with all that out of the way, let's create a background on D&D Beyond completely from scratch. We are at the actual way that this would look. Backgrounds, as I said before, have a lot of different things that they want you to do. Similar to monsters in a way. It's like just such this like big thing that you have to do. But you don't have to fill all of it out, as you previously saw with our um, background that was based off of Criminal. Criminal didn't have all the things filled out, and so neither do you when you're creating things like Assassin, or in this case, we are creating a homebrew um, background completely from scratch called Teacher. Because there are still teachers in the world of fantasy D&D. There are still schools where people get taught magic. One of my characters that I play, one of my first ever characters, Professor Frederick, is a college professor. And so that is kind of the background that you would have if you were a teacher. So I'm actually going to start with the ability scores thing first. Obviously, introduction is something that I like to write off of camera so that I can kind of cut back to it. But ability scores, so these are your constitution, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, strength, and charisma. I was like, which one did I forget? But with this, I think that it's pretty obvious which ones would be the ability scores used. The ability scores that I would put into this, in my opinion, is intelligence and wisdom, considering that's what you need to be a teacher, in my opinion, at least. If you don't have either of those things, you're probably not a very good teacher. So, intelligence and wisdom would be needed. So we're just going to pause here. I'm going to look into some other things that we could possibly add, and then I'll show you guys what you have to do next. So now we're here. You see, it's going to get a lot more interesting. You see, here is where things get a lot more strange. And by that I mean, basically, I already gave you the introduction. I haven't read it to you yet, so let me read it to you now. You've been teaching many different types of people how to use their magic or their minds to grow as a person. It is your job, no matter the cost. I thought that'd be a little fun joke. And so you get to do skill proficiencies, tool proficiencies, languages, equipment, backgrounds, all of these things that you might not even need. Because at the end of the day, for our particular needs, we don't need the end, from here on, we don't need any of that. And with that, you have finished making a background completely from scratch, hopefully. I certainly did. I created teacher, I gave the ability scores, I gave the skill proficiencies, I gave languages, or you get to pick 2 languages, and I gave the ability of you to have 4 pieces of paper and 50 silver, aka 5 gold pieces. And so, now we are on copy of actor. You see, while there is the ability to be a actor, for a feat in D&D Beyond, there is not the ability to be a singer, or more importantly, a siren singer. And so that is what this is for, the siren singer. Now, the one big change between actor and siren singer is the siren screech. You see, instead of impersonation, it is siren screech that you gain the ability to do, and basically your voice can shatter glass and also mines. As a bonus action, you can screech, which will cause everyone in a 15-foot sphere around you to make a con save, DC 8 plus your charisma modifier and proficiency bonus, or take 3d10 psychic damage. If they do end up saving, then nothing ends up happening. The mimicry is also a little bit different, since you're only able to mimic the ability of singing from other creatures. This is actually level 5 due to the ability that you gain with Siren Screech. So it is a little bit higher than it would normally be, like, say, level 4. We are going to add the prerequisites and the modifiers and all of the other stuff that you would get from this, and then I will show it off in its final form. And so this is where we are. This is what it looks like. I know that or rather, I just realized that it does say prerequisite level 4 plus. It will be level 5. Of course, if I were to share this with the community, it would be level 5. If you were ever to try and use Siren Singer. Siren Screech has the correct abilities and all of that, and everything is correct. That is the only thing that is a mistake on here. So, with that, we have created Siren Singer. And now we are going to go back into the creator and show you guys what creating a feat from scratch would look like on D&D Beyond. So, when creating a feat from scratch, you don't actually have to do as much as creating a background from scratch, which is why I put these two together so that you can watch one video and not have to watch two videos about things that are kind of short. Either way, I decided to create the feat of Rubbery. So basically, you're very bouncy, and it ups your dex score as well as giving you the ability of bounce. You have the ability as a reaction twice per day or per long rest to bounce an attack made at you. Yeah, that makes sense. Back on someone else. You, the player, must make a dex save. The DC is half the hit plus their proficiency bonus, not yours. And if you succeed, then you take half the damage and end up bouncing the other half back on them. So it's really cool. It has everything in it, and so we're going to save all of these changes. I'll show you what it looks like, and I will add this one to the community. And with that, this has now been shared with the community across the D&D Beyond world, so now you can use this in your D&D games if you use D&D Beyond. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on how to create feats and backgrounds on D&D Beyond. I really hope that this is helpful, and if you want to keep on watching more videos in this particular YouTube course, then go check out the other ones that we've already made, and make sure to subscribe so that you can stay updated on when the next one comes out, because we're not done yet. We still have subclasses to do, and we still have other things to look at in order to help you guys understand how to use Homebrew in your D&D games and across all tabletop role-playing games. Thank you guys once more, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you guys roll a natural 20!